everyone. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Texas Insider TV. I'm Jim Cardle. We're here today visiting with Representative Sid Miller in his sixth term from West Texas. Stephenville is your home, Representative, Erath County. Thank you for joining us.
It's good to be with you today, Jim.
You are chairman of the Homeland Security Committee in the House of Representatives, as well as the Business and Industry Committee. You're former chairman of the House Agriculture Committee, which we'll get to in a second. But first of all, we got a couple things we're going to cover today. And the first question is, you all passed a number of significant bills this last legislative session. We'll delve into that more in a minute. But in particular, one of your highlights was the sonogram bill.
That's correct.
Difficult battle back and forth, and I thought it'd be interesting if we can. A lot of folks think that a bill passes, and really even legislators don't often pay attention, but there's significant work after a bill passes in the rulemaking and administrative process. Tell us a little bit. You passed a bill. I know there were some delays in when it went to effect, but what can Texans expect for a significant piece of legislation actually in the medical marketplace?
Well, this particular bill, House Bill 15, the sonogram bill, which would require a doctor to allow the woman to view the sonogram, hear a description of it, and listen to the baby's heartbeat. That it takes effective date for all laws, September 1st.
Okay.
This particular bill has a 30-day delay, so you can get notices out to the clinics, to the doctors, so that they're fully informed in how they would have to comply.
Okay.
Right now, there's been a lawsuit filed in federal court on the constitutionality of the bill.
So surprise, surprise, nothing's ever easy, is it?
Nothing's ever easy. We have to work through that. The judge, federal judge Sparks, is indicated that he will have a ruling prior to the actual effective date. So we should know something prior to the 1st of October.
And that's Judge Sparks here in Austin.
In Austin, yes.
Because when things are litigated, people may not realize, but they're all, if it's a piece of legislation, it's got to be filed and handled in the Travis County District, correct?
Federal court, yes, sir. So we'll see where we stand on that. The bill has a severability clause, so that means if there is one portion of the law that is declared unconstitutional, it doesn't negate the whole piece of legislation, only that part.
Key.
So the likelihood of the whole bill being struck down is very remote.
Okay, let's keep going. We're going to come back to, and be monitoring that. But in terms of the 82nd legislative session, a lot of anticipation and expectations coming into the session. Republicans had gone over 100, had 2/3 majority. Right. And you all, I want to get to some historical perspective. Eminent domain, voter ID, passing a budget without increasing taxes, your sonogram bill. You've been here 12 years.
Loser pays,
tort
yes.
reform.
Don't forget that one, that's a good one.
You've been here 12 years, 6 terms. Right. You've seen a lot of political history come back and forth. How significant in a historical perspective from your experience do you think this was?
You know, without a doubt, and you can go back and look at the records, but in our lifetime, this session, we passed more conservative bills than we've ever passed any session. It was just an outstanding session for conservative legislation. You named them off. The sonogram bill, we passed eminent domain, balance the budget without raising taxes, left money in the rainy day fund, tort reform. We had some very good immigration reform. And it just list goes on and on and on. We had the health care compact to get us out of Obamacare, and just numerous pieces of legislation. We just kind of run the tables on them. It was great.
So
great session.
Now I guess my question is, because expectations for you elected officials are problematic, and imposing the national concerns and the frustration with Congress and the debt ceiling. Are your constituents, or do you think that the Texans, at least, that you're hearing from, have they been on summer vacation and not paying attention, gone back to their lives, or are you hearing some appreciation?
You know, politically, August is a slow month. You know, Congress adjourns and everybody, even the president takes a little vacation
there you go.
at this time. But
yes.
What's interesting, while our nation seems to be faulting financially, and you know, we've been downgraded. Texas was recently upgraded on its bonding capacity. So while the nation is going down and its financial credibility, the state of Texas is actually being lifted up.
And I know the other day, Comptroller Combs came out with the sales tax
yes.
activity, and it was 16 consecutive months. So I
Increase, 16 consecutive months increase.
of positive economic
Yes,
activity.
positive.
So you're saying that Texas is, what you have done with the budget is actually, regardless of what we may think politically,
Right.
but the international markets or the national markets are looking favorably on the state's fiscal status.
Oh, sure, yeah, by upgrading our bonds, that's just huge. That just shows the confidence that the market has in Texas and what we're doing here.
Okay, and going forward, Chairman Miller, we're visiting with Sid Miller, Chairman of the Homeland Security Committee from the 69th District, and you are currently Chairman of the Border Security. We'll get to that maybe at a future interview, but you've been past Chairman of the House Agriculture Committee.
That's correct.
The drought is a huge problem across the state, not getting a lot of attention. Tell us a little bit what the effects you see for something like that.
Well, what you're going to see is it obviously affects the pocketbooks of the farm and ranch families of Texas. But the trickle down of that is you're going to see probably increased prices at the grocery store. We have corn crop is almost a failure or poor. All the other
Really?
grain crops are bad. The drought has caused many ranchers to have to sell their livestock. Cattle are gone. So
Can't afford the feed and the hay.
there is no. I mean, can't find any hay to buy really. I mean,
Really?
Hay prices have tripled. The one bright spot in the drought is that is the feral hog population can't survive and thrive as well in a drought situation. So the numbers of feral hogs, which cause $500 million worth of damage in the state, those numbers are actually going down. So that's one if not the only bright spot when we have a drought.
The feral hogs, they were mentioned in the New York Times as spreading across Texas, and it is a real problem.
It is a problem. You know, they now that the drought is on, we're seeing them come into suburban areas, graveyards, turning over tombstones, golf courses, city parks, suburban lawns. City of Irving, inside the city limits of Irving, they trapped 300 head.
Irving, Texas,
Irving,
home
Texas.
of Texas Stadium.
That's it. Yes.
Interesting. And you all, I believe, did you not pass a bill where it is now legal to hunt feral hogs via helicopter?
That's
correct?
right. And it's
One of
it's
the
act-
more colorful bills.
It's actually created a lot of new jobs in Texas. There's new ventures coming up to take people on hog hunts, and you know, actually, we turned something that was costing the farming rancher a huge bill to deal with the damage, also a huge bill to eradicate them. We turned that into a positive. Now they're seeing income from that enterprise.
Sounds like a
instead
growth
of-
industry.
Yeah.
But in terms of agriculture, you mentioned the beef and the cattle industry. Is there a 6-month, a 12-month, a 3-year lag time? How long will the effects of this historic drought affect our state?
What we're seeing is many of the cattle go into slaughter, so that's decreases the likelihood of next year of having a large calf crop. The calf crop will be reduced.
Which affects future
Supply and price. Because of the weak dollar and the strong yen, foreign countries are buying record numbers of beef from the United States, Korea, Japan, China. Our exports have shot way up. So it means higher beef prices, this drought, and the weak dollar for our consumers in the long run.
Well,
unfortunately.
It'll give us something to have you back and visit about as it's forecasted to run through the remainder of the year.
Yes.
As I mentioned, you're chairman of the Border and Homeland Security. We want to have you back.
Sure, be glad to talk about that.
In respect to your time, I know you're busy. Sid Miller, House District 59. Thanks for coming in and visiting with us for your good work this last session.
Good to be with you. Thank you very much.
Folks, be sure and join us again for another edition of our Power Player of the Week. Remember, you're either an insider or you're not. I'm Jim Cardle.